I haven't cursed all I want. You haven't cursed on my son, asshole? I get close to you, dick, because I know what you did to my dogs, motherfucker. I know what you did to my dogs, asshole. Alright, motherfucker? You're gonna get it, motherfucker. Talk about 14th dude. You're asking for trouble, dude. How about you don't get close to me, dick? Like, seriously, asshole? So fuck you! You're gonna get it.
I think the first thing that needs to be said tonight is that mine and all of our constitutional rights reign supreme here, okay, they're sacrosanct. And the one I'm invoking tonight is my First Amendment privilege or right, to address you in a lawful, respectful manner. But also, I don't want it abridged or interrupted because I have something very important to tell you tonight, folks. About a year ago, a gentleman came in here along with the other witnesses, and his name was Mr. Mike Cross. And you remember what happened. His precious little dog was mauled to death. And you sitting up there talked amongst yourselves about how it was a terrible thing. I think we all agree to that. Pit bulls shouldn't be killing people or tearing up their property and all that. I think we all agree on that, right? So anyway, we all bemoaned what happened, and we kind of looked at ourselves and said, what could we have done better? The police didn't do this or the police didn't do that and all that. And it's the county jurisdiction and all that. Well, coincidentally, about 3 weeks ago, I was returning home from a pleasant walk, and I had my errant neighbor's unrestrained pit bull mastiff mixed dog charge at me as I was returning to my home, okay? Now, I don't want to be chewed up by a pit bull, I don't think anybody in here wants to be chewed up by a pit bull, okay? So I took immediate defensive action, and I literally sprayed pepper spray into their eyes and faces and sent them, dispatched them. And so my neighbor is aggrieved about all of this. But anyway, I took lawful action, and I went and I contacted your police department, and to their credit, they immediately notified the county. And the county called me to see what the situation was, and then they came over and they investigated. And lo and behold, we found out that there's been 2 previous complaints with these dogs escaping and attacking other animals and damaging property. So now I'm rendering and submitting the 3rd complaint. And I guess, unfortunately, I don't know how you look at it, I have video evidence of this by my home security camera system, and it was sent over there along with proof of service letter explaining what happened and all that. The officer came out and he interviewed the errant neighbor, and he immediately started cursing me in the front yard in the presence of the officer. And it too was recorded on audio and video. And to their credit, the county told me, well, we've determined that probable cause has been met in this case, that the burden has been met, and we've determined that we're going to file a petition, which, is their right, to hold a hearing down here in Suisun. Okay? So that's the situation. They drew up all the documents. It's all proper and everything. And would you please yield to me another 2 minutes, please? Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Okay. So they sent this entire package, supposedly. This is what the officers told me. And he sent it to the city of Suisun. Okay? You're now in receipt of those documents, the petition, the previous complaints, and my statement and everything else. So what do you think the city of Suisun does? They reject the findings. Your police officers, once again, have screwed up and have let us down, Mr. Mayor and City Council members. This is not good at all, and it only adds weight and gravity to my previous complaints of bias policing. You guys are now in receipt of my 2nd bias policing report, and you're getting ready to get even more. My lawyers have been notified. You're going to federal court. You're all going to be sued. Not only for this, but for beating me up in front of TV cameras here a year and a half ago. I've suffered horrible, consequential, and substantial medical damages from your police thug attack on me at a public meeting. It was broadcast on Channel 3. We all know about it. But regarding this dog situation, this doesn't just affect me. It affects other people. And it appears right now my investigation has revealed that a cabal of police officers within the Suisun Police Department and outside the Suisun Police Department have been instrumental in conspiring against me and violating my First Amendment rights, my 8th Amendment rights, my 14th Amendment rights, and my 6th Amendment rights to due process. You, Chief, I've been instrumental in all of this, and you're going to have to account in federal court for what you've done, okay? I did not risk my life over the skies of the Middle East and Africa for 24 years to come back and have Suisun and its officials run me over like this, okay? You are going to have to account eventually. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually you're going to have to account for that officer's party house next to my home. Remember that episode? Ran on for 3 years. And then there's my neighbor with the car repair facility and the spray painting the cars that ran on for 3 years. And every time the Suisun police not only wouldn't do their job, but they ended up blaming me for what others are doing despite the video evidence and the statements of neighbors, the photographs, and the trail of letters. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, and there is going to be more to come. I guarantee you that. You've not heard the last of me despite what you have done and not done. Thank you for your time. Send it to my lawyer.